Welcome back, ladies, to Real Love Talks. Have you ever wondered if that spark you feel with someone is real or if it's only your mind playing tricks on you? The truth is, when that spark is genuine, your body senses it long before your thoughts can even catch up. And today, I'm going to take you through 10 clear signs that the spark isn't just one-sided, but something both of you are experiencing together. Think about those moments when eye contact lingers just a little longer than usual, when silence between you doesn't feel awkward, but instead strangely comfortable, when laughter comes naturally and your whole body feels a gentle wave of energy you can't quite describe. Those moments aren't random, they are signals, and once you learn how to notice them, you'll no longer question whether you're imagining chemistry or actually feeling it. Have you ever met someone and immediately felt something different, yet neither of you said it out loud? It's like the chemistry is floating in the air, unspoken but impossible to ignore. The real question becomes, how do you know if what you're sensing is truly real, or if it's just your mind inventing a story? That's what I want to help you with today. I'm going to share 9 powerful signs of hidden mutual attraction. These are the small behaviors, the shifts in body language, and the natural responses that reveal when two people are secretly pulled toward one another. There's something almost magical about eye contact that words will never fully explain. Imagine that moment in a conversation when someone holds your gaze for just a little longer than normal. It's not the quick, polite glance you'd give to a stranger at a store. It feels heavier. It feels like they're not just looking at you, but into you. This is one of the clearest signs of unspoken attraction, because when two people allow their eyes to linger, it sparks an intimacy that feels electric. Eye contact like this doesn't happen by accident. From a young age, we're taught to look away quickly because staring too long can feel odd or even threatening. But when there's attraction, instead of breaking the gaze, both people hold it. That shared pause creates its own world, where time seems to slow down, almost as if you're both suspended in a private bubble no one else can step into. What makes this so powerful is how rare it is in daily life. Most people glance away, check their phones, or avoid long eye contact because it feels too vulnerable. But when you find yourself locked in someone's gaze and they stay with you, it's a sure sign of openness. And that openness is attraction in its purest form. It's not just curiosity, it's like a silent message saying, "I want to connect with you." That's why lingering eye contact feels magnetic. It's not only about how long it lasts, but also how it feels. When chemistry is there, the eyes soften. There's often a glow, maybe even a spark of playfulness, or at times a calm depth that feels almost spiritual. Pupils may widen, the face relaxes, and suddenly the eyes are carrying the whole conversation. No clever words are needed. The energy between you already says enough. Of course, not every long look means attraction. Sometimes people hold eye contact for power, persuasion, or simply out of habit. But the difference shows in reflection. If you feel a rush inside and see the same warmth reflected in their face, that's not just chance, that's chemistry. When they meet your gaze, glance away briefly, then return with a faint smile. It becomes a rhythm. It turns into a kind of silent dance, one you both join without planning. That type of gaze often leaves you feeling lighter, and later you may replay it in your mind, wondering why it carried so much meaning. The reason is simple. The human brain treats eye contact as deeply intimate. It triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone that makes you feel close. When attraction is shared, the weight of that gaze doubles. It becomes a moment you replay again and again in your thoughts, a memory only the two of you hold, quietly deepening the bond without any words at all. So if you've been asking yourself whether someone feels the same spark, just watch their eyes. If they hold your gaze, if their eyes soften, if they return to you again and again for longer than seems necessary, it's not random. It's attraction quietly revealing itself in one of the most natural, powerful ways possible. Another fascinating sign of hidden attraction is something many people don't notice at first. Mirroring. Mirroring is when someone unconsciously copies your movements, posture, or even your tone without realizing it. You cross your legs and seconds later, they do too. You lean in closer during a conversation and suddenly they're leaning in as well. They don't plan this. It's the body's instinctive way of saying, "I feel connected to you." It's like two people falling into the same rhythm without effort. What makes mirroring so interesting is that it's not logical, it's automatic. When two people feel attraction, the brain naturally looks for harmony. Without thinking, it lines up gestures. If you've ever noticed two people laughing the same way, tilting their heads at similar angles, or even sipping their drinks almost at the same time, you've witnessed mirroring. It's the body's way of showing that beneath everything, their energy is synced. That's why it feels effortless, like a natural dance no one has to choreograph. It's important, though, to tell the difference between politeness and true mirroring. A person might nod or smile out of courtesy, but real mirroring goes deeper. It's not only in the gestures, but also in the energy. It's when they lean forward just as you do, when their tone softens after yours, when their overall mood seems to echo yours. If this happens again and again, it's a strong sign that attraction is shared, because people don't mirror those they feel nothing for. They mirror those they're drawn to. Another key part of mirroring is timing. When there's attraction, the mirroring happens almost instantly, like a reflex. You smile, and before they even think about it, they're smiling too. You tilt your head and theirs follows in the same way. This quick, natural reaction is what makes it different from forced copying. It's not about trying, it's about being naturally pulled into the same rhythm because of attraction. Mirroring doesn't stop at body language, it shows up in conversation too. Have you noticed how two people who like each other often start using the same phrases or playful tones? One person makes a joke in a certain style and the other instantly picks it up. Their way of speaking starts to align. Their pace of talking matches, and soon it feels like they've built their own little language. This kind of verbal mirroring is more than attraction. It shows emotional closeness. It proves they're tuned into each other's frequency. The beauty of mirroring is the comfort it creates. Even if you can't explain it, when someone mirrors you, your brain gets the message, "We're alike, we belong together." That feeling of similarity builds trust, and trust naturally deepens attraction. It also explains why conversations with them feel effortless, why time seems to fly by. You lose track of hours because everything flows so smoothly. The more it happens, the stronger the bond becomes, until you find yourself craving their company simply because it feels so good to be in sync. So if you're trying to figure out if attraction is mutual, don't just listen to their words. Notice what their body does. Watch if their gestures match yours, if their voice copies your tone, if their mood reflects yours. That kind of mirroring isn't coincidence. It's the body quietly admitting what the heart already knows. When two people are secretly drawn to each other, another undeniable signal often shows up. Physical closeness. Attraction naturally pulls people nearer, often without them even realizing it. You'll see it in small ways, like someone choosing to sit beside you when many other seats are open, or leaning closer to hear you even though they could easily stay where they are. These aren't random choices. They're the quiet signs of wanting to shorten the space between you, because closeness simply feels better when attraction is alive. What makes this sign so striking is how unnecessary the closeness often seems. Nobody truly needs to stand that close in a group, or lean across the table just to hear, or brush your arm when there's plenty of space to pass. Yet when chemistry is strong, people instinctively create reasons to close the gap. It's almost like their body is magnetized, finding comfort in being near. And when you notice yourself doing it too, often without realizing, that's one of the clearest signs of mutual attraction. Think back to those conversations in your life that felt electric. Chances are it wasn't just about eye contact or laughter, it was also about the closeness. Maybe you leaned forward and they leaned forward too. Maybe your knees touched under the table or your shoulders brushed as you walked side by side. These aren't meaningless accidents. They're the body's quiet way of saying, I want to be near you. Physical closeness creates a kind of invisible bubble around two people, separating them from the rest of the world, even if they're surrounded by many others. It isn't always about actual touch. It's about creating the moment where touch could naturally happen. Attraction often slips in through the smallest gestures, standing near enough that your hands might almost brush, choosing to walk side by side instead of leaving space, or pulling a chair slightly closer than needed. These small choices are quiet signals of interest. They're gentle tests to see if that closeness is welcome, and when both people allow it, or even lean into it more, it becomes one of the clearest signs that attraction goes both ways. Closeness also raises the energy between two people. When someone you like sits or stands close by, your heart beats faster, your awareness sharpens. Suddenly, their scent, the way they shift, even the rhythm of their breathing seems stronger. That sharp awareness is your body's way of showing desire. And when you notice them doing the same, leaning closer when you lower your voice, staying near even when the talk drifts, it means they're feeling that same pull. What makes physical closeness so powerful is the way it blurs the line between casual and intimate without anyone needing to name it. You don't need to declare attraction for it to be felt. You just take a step nearer, and if they step closer too, you've formed an unspoken agreement. That nearness, repeated over and over, builds comfort while also creating a soft tension, a tension that lingers in both minds long after the moment ends. So, if you wonder whether the feeling is mutual, watch the space. Do they choose proximity when keeping distance would be easier? Do they lean in, stand nearby, or find ways for your paths to meet? Because when attraction is alive, space becomes opportunity, and closeness turns into its own quiet language of desire. Another strong sign that attraction is present is playful teasing. Teasing is not about the actual words, it's about the energy beneath them. It's when someone makes a small joke, points out something quirky about you, or lightly challenges you. That spark of back and forth creates tension, but it's the fun kind. The kind that makes you smile, lean in, and want the exchange to continue. Teasing is a soft way of saying, I notice you, without spelling it out. The magic of teasing is in how it builds a private little world between two people. When you're joking together, it feels like slipping into a bubble no one else can enter. Even if you're in a group, the playfulness feels like your own little game. The details don't matter. It could be about something small or silly. What matters is that both of you are caught in that rhythm, and that rhythm only works because you're tuned into each other. That playful energy often becomes the heartbeat of attraction. Teasing works because it mixes tension with comfort. On the surface, you're poking fun, but underneath you're really saying, I trust you enough to take this little risk. And when the other person responds not with annoyance but with laughter or a witty reply, it shows they feel the same ease and excitement. It's like tossing a ball back and forth. Every joke is an invitation, and when they throw it back, it's proof they want to keep playing with you. What's interesting is how teasing almost always carries a thin layer of flirting under the humor. It might be exaggerated mock complaints, silly exaggerations, or light-hearted dares like, I bet you can't do that. These sparks aren't meant to wound, they're meant to ignite. They create just enough tension to pull someone closer while wrapping it all in laughter. That's why teasing is such a powerful sign of attraction. It blends comfort and excitement in a way that feels natural. The difference between polite conversation and playful banter is huge. Polite exchanges stay safe, predictable, and without risk. Banter thrives on surprise, humor, and spark. When two people are drawn to each other, their talks rarely stay stiff for long. They test each other, push the edges a little, and use humor that feels more personal. That shift shows that what's happening isn't just casual, it's charged. Banter also tends to stick in your memory. You'll find yourself replaying a clever line or remembering the way they laughed when you teased them. These moments linger because they're tied to emotion, and emotion is what makes ordinary minutes unforgettable. Teasing isn't only about the words, it's about the grins that follow, the way eyes lock, and the pauses filled with meaning between the laughs. The mind clings to these tiny highs. Those memories create anticipation for the next meeting. That's why playful teasing often becomes the highlight of an interaction. It transforms simple talk into something magnetic. So, if you want to notice attraction, pay attention to how much playful banter flows naturally. If it stays fun, keeps a rhythm, and builds connection instead of shutting it down, that's a strong sign the chemistry is genuine. People don't invest that kind of playful energy unless something deeper drives it. Banter is never just banter, it's attraction hiding as a game. Another subtle but powerful sign of hidden attraction is the shift in energy that appears the moment two people come near. You've likely felt it before. The atmosphere changes the instant they enter the space. Others might not notice, but for the two of you, it's undeniable. The conversation grows brighter, the body language opens. Suddenly, there's a hum in the air. Attraction has a way of changing the environment, like someone secretly turned the light up brighter. This shift shows up in small but consistent ways. Maybe you were sitting quietly, distracted, or even bored. Then they walk in and your posture straightens. You feel more awake, more alert, as if you've been given a shot of energy. On their side, you notice similar things. Their tone softens, laughter comes more easily, and their focus sharpens whenever you're nearby. That shared change isn't random. It's your bodies reacting to excitement, desire, and possibility all at once. Think about how you feel near someone you're not attracted to. Your energy stays flat. You may smile, stay polite, but there's no adrenaline. But when it's someone you're drawn to, your whole system lights up. Your heart races, your senses sharpen, and your mood lifts without effort. That kind of shift is something only attraction brings. That sudden spark of energy is often the clearest way to notice when two people are secretly into each other. It's not something you fake. It's not something you plan. It just happens. You find yourself smiling for no reason, leaning in closer, your tone softening, your whole presence becoming more alive. And when you see them doing the same, when they perk up, become animated, or seem more focused the moment you appear, that's attraction written in real time. It's the body's way of saying, this person matters. Another undeniable sign of mutual attraction is touch, or more often, the small efforts to create space for touch. Human touch has a deep effect. It builds trust, increases closeness, and strengthens bonds without needing words. When attraction is there, touch often becomes a bridge. It might start light, like a brush of the hand, a tap on the arm during a laugh, or a playful bump while walking. These aren't accidents. They're little tests. They're the body's way of asking, is this closeness welcome? What makes touch so powerful is how fast the body reacts. Even the slightest contact can feel electric if it's from someone you want. Your skin remembers it. Your mind replays it long after it's gone. And if the attraction is shared, they'll find their own ways to touch too. Touches that seem casual but mean more. A hand on your back as you move through a doorway, fingers brushing when something is passed over, shoulders leaning closer than needed. These touches might look simple, but they carry a weight that says much more than words ever could. When these small touches repeat again and again, and both people allow them to linger even for just a moment longer than necessary, it becomes a very strong sign that the attraction is shared. The difference between a simple act of friendliness and a gesture that carries attraction is often hidden in the intention behind it. A friendly touch is usually quick, casual, and forgotten almost instantly, but a touch that comes from genuine attraction carries something extra. It may have a softness, a pause, or a spark that is hard to explain but easy to feel. It is less about practicality and more about longing. And when you start noticing these moments happening on both sides, you know it isn't just coincidence. It is chemistry quietly making itself known through the physical world. Touch is also like a silent conversation between two people. A playful tap might say, "I'm enjoying this moment with you." A soft squeeze of the shoulder might communicate, "I see you and I care." A hand that stays just a little longer than it should can speak volumes without a single word, silently saying, "I don't want to let go yet." These kinds of touches are rarely analyzed with logic in the moment. Instead, they are felt emotionally, leaving behind warmth and closeness without any words exchanged. Another unspoken yet powerful sign of attraction is the way attention shifts. When two people are drawn to one another, their focus naturally sharpens without any conscious effort. In a group, you may notice their eyes constantly drifting back towards you, or their body leaning in your direction even while someone else is talking. Their laugh may come quicker, louder, or more freely at your jokes. They might also remember the tiniest details you shared casually, the little things most people would overlook. Sometimes they check in on you with small gestures that no one else seems to bother with. This heightened level of attention is not simple politeness. It's about priority. Their actions are quietly signaling that you matter more than others in the room. What makes it even more striking is how natural it feels. They aren't putting on a show or trying hard to make you feel noticed. It just happens without thought. Their phone may remain out of sight when they're with you, or they may offer you their undivided presence even in busy places. That kind of genuine focus is rare. And when it's reflected equally on both sides, it becomes one of the clearest markers of attraction. Real chemistry is not only about wanting to be physically close, it's about wanting to know, understand, and take in the essence of the other person. This connection reveals itself further through memory. When someone is truly drawn to you, their mind naturally holds on to the details you share. Your favorite drink, the way you described a childhood memory, or the small habits that make you unique. These little pieces stay with them. Later, they bring them back into conversations, sometimes in obvious ways and sometimes in subtle hints. This kind of remembering is never accidental. It shows that they were truly listening, that they cared enough to store those details. Memory becomes a form of affection, a quiet way of proving that you live in their thoughts, even when you're not around. And when both people carry these details about each other, it creates a bond that strengthens silently, threading you closer together with every recalled moment. Attraction also changes the way conversations flow. When two people don't share that spark, exchanges can feel surface level, polite, or even slightly draining. Words are spoken, but the energy is flat. But when chemistry exists, dialogue takes on a different rhythm. It flows with ease, like a river moving without interruption. Time passes quickly without being noticed, as one topic rolls naturally into another. Silence, instead of being uncomfortable, feels natural and safe. Laughter comes freely without being forced. The rhythm feels effortless, like speaking in a shared secret language that only the two of you understand. This type of interaction isn't built on rehearsed lines or practiced charm. It's organic. It's the kind of talk where hours can pass unnoticed, yet you never feel drained. Instead, you feel more alive, more curious, and more eager to stay in that shared space. That's the heartbeat of real chemistry, an energy that fuels both conversation and presence, pulling you to remain in each other's world for as long as you can. You also start noticing that even in simple, everyday exchanges, there's a magnetic pull that keeps things different from how they are with other people. Eye contact, for example, takes on a new meaning. Instead of being quick and polite, it becomes longer, deeper, and sometimes lingers just enough to make your heart race. A glance might carry more than words could, saying everything from admiration to curiosity to desire. The way their eyes hold yours is often an unspoken confession that something deeper is at play. Even small acts of care stand out. They may go slightly out of their way to make you comfortable or ease your day. Perhaps they adjust their schedule to spend a bit more time with you, or they notice when you're tired and offer quiet support. These gestures don't have to be grand, it's the subtle effort that matters. The intention behind those efforts shows priority, choosing to give you attention and care when they could have easily stayed detached. And when you find yourself doing the same for them without hesitation or second thought, it's a sign of mutual attraction weaving itself into the details of daily life. Another sign often overlooked is the way energy shifts in their presence. When someone you're drawn to walks into the room, your body reacts before your mind even catches up. Maybe your posture changes, your voice softens or deepens, or your mood lifts almost instantly. Attraction has a way of creating invisible signals between two people. It's not something you plan, it simply happens. And when both people mirror these subtle changes in energy, it becomes even clearer that the pull is mutual. Chemistry also shows in the way two people find excuses to extend moments. A conversation that could have ended still continues. A goodbye at the door stretches out longer than necessary. Small reasons to stay connected, sharing a funny link, asking a casual question, or bringing up something minor become opportunities to keep the interaction alive. None of it feels forced because the truth is neither person really wants the moment to end. This is attraction in action, gently holding on to time. And perhaps one of the most powerful signs of all is comfort. When two people are truly drawn to each other, there is a deep ease that exists alongside the excitement. You don't feel the need to impress constantly or filter every word. Instead, you feel understood, accepted, and safe in each other's presence. This balance of comfort and spark is rare, but when it's there, it's unmistakable. It's a sign that the attraction is not only real but meaningful, something capable of growing stronger with time. At the heart of it all, attraction is not about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about the subtle signs, the repeated touches, the lingering glances, the remembered details, and the effortless flow of words and silence. It's the kind of connection that doesn't need to be spoken aloud to be felt deeply. And when both people share in those small, powerful signals, that's when you know the spark isn't one-sided, it's mutual, real, and alive. So here's the truth: attraction isn't something you have to guess at. It's written in the eyes that linger, the laughter that flows too easily, the closeness that keeps happening by accident. It shows up in the way they mirror you, remember the smallest details, or light up the second you walk into the room. Those aren't coincidences, they're signals. And once you know how to spot them, you'll never again wonder if the spark is only in your head. Because real chemistry doesn't hide. It reveals itself, quietly but powerfully, in the moments that make you feel alive. The only question left is, are you ready to recognize it when it's right in front of you?